Hello, everyone. I am back, and it's been a few days, about a week or so since I last streamed, and this series is going to be a little different than what I used to do. So the last stream that I had of being technically an analyst for the forex markets, I'm going to be changing directions to something that fits my personality more, um, and that's talking about uh, trading as well, but also other types of investments. What I'm looking at, uh, my personal progress in my trading and investing, and where I plan to put my money in my future outlook on account sizes and funds and available funds, and how I plan to approach that in the future. Um, and you're able, I want this blog to show you or allow you to see my progress, see what uh, types of investing or programs or trading or systems, for that matter, that I'm using to profit in the market, and what my outlook on that is, and what my expectations are as well. Um, so that's why I just kind of wrote down like a really low budget WordPad on the WordPad here. Just basically the title of my blog series, Personal Trading Investing Journal Series by Ryan Brown. Let's profit together. Now, kind of cheesy at the end, profit together, but whatever. And the things I want to go over in this series is what trading techniques are best? What types of investing bring the best results and why? What types of investments are safe and why? My experience and expectations with my trading and investments. Why trading systems are the best to use and why, or what trading systems are best to use and why. And on this last one here, I'll also show you a good place to find some really good systems for free that have already been uh, basically built, and you can get them. Uh, what I wanted to talk to you about today is this one. So each episode that I do will be anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. I'm not sure how long I want each one to be yet. I'm trying not to go too long, as I don't want to take too much time during the day of people's day. But this one I definitely want to hit on. What types of investing bring the best results and why? Uh, I'm also going to talk about emotions in trading as well, because emotions is a big part on why a lot of traders fail. And so I'll continue to add to this Word doc, and we'll go over them over time. But types of what types of investing bring the best results and why? All right, so uh, what we're going to start with is my personal trading account. I'm going to make sure and bring up. Okay, so I have 3 people watching. Uh, sure, Nova. Please, what companies offer safe account for trading? What do you recommend? Yeah, that's a good way to start this. Also, guys, I'll get into that question in just a second, but be aware that Trump is speaking here in about 20 minutes, so I may cover some of that and what's happening in the markets once that happens. All right, so uh, please, what companies offer safe account for trading? What do you recommend? Uh, so if you're talking about forex trading companies, I'm a U.S. resident, and so it's important for me to, well, actually, I don't have that many options. I have basically 2 options is when it comes down to is FXCM and Oanda. And oh, whoops, sorry, Kashev. Let me bring up my live account. Okay, there we go. Um, so I recommend Oanda as a personal forex broker. They are the best broker I've used in my experience, and I've used Forex Broker Inc., MyFX Choice, FXCM, uh, let's see, FX Pro, um, and let's see, and a few others that I can't remember. But a lot of the major ones out there. and Oanda has by far been the best. You don't. Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me move. Thanks, Kashyap. Let me move this over. Um, that's probably a little bit better. Okay, so you can actually at least see the account size now. I didn't realize that you couldn't see that. Actually, maybe I could go up the top right, put the video to the top right. That might be pretty good. Let me know if that's distracting at all, and I can move it. Uh, when I start talking about the charts, I may move my picture down so you can see what's going on. Okay. What about XM? I don't have much experience with XM, uh, but I do hear that they're a pretty good broker though. So definitely check them out. What I do recommend, and I'm going to bring this up for those of you that are wanting to see what good brokers are out there, I'm going to give you some advice on a great. Uh, okay, hold on. A really good website, honest website for reviews of brokers and reviews of systems and mentors and all sorts of stuff. Um, and this site's been around for a long while. Okay, so it's called forexpsummary.com. Some of you may know what this website is, and if you just go to and navigate around, you'll see that if you click on reviews and tests, you can you can kind of see what brokers are best. You can see search the website. You can also see what systems are good, what mentors, and there's honest ratings as well. For example, if you go and you search in Google, let's see, uh, Oanda review. Now, Forex Summary is one of the top ones that come up. And you can check them. Yeah, the reviews are hit or miss, but I've enjoyed them a lot. And see, this is what's crazy to me, is that I've had Oanda. Uh, I've withdrawn. I've withdrawn about 20,000 from Oanda, over 20,000 from Oanda, and they've always sent me my money very quickly within. It's in my bank account in 3 days. So I'm not really sure where these guys are coming from, but honestly, they're there for a reason. If they have had a bad experience, then I suggest you look over them and see. And it's difficult to know which broker to stay with. I was with Forex Broker Inc. before that, and they just recently went scam. They were an unregulated broker, which was a had showed red flags from the beginning, but they they were good, and I also withdrew about 20K from them over the course of the time I was with them. But Oanda, so far, I've really liked him. I don't see any weird stuff in price like I did at FXCM. I saw FXCM was manipulating my price, um, and it was difficult to be profitable with them because of some odd fees that I was seeing. I'm not seeing anything odd with Oanda yet, but I'll definitely let you know if that's the case. Nevertheless, Forex Summary is a great place to be to look for broker reviews. Right now, I'm searching Forex brokers. There's a 1,053 that you can look over. You can also select how many star ratings that you want to see. So if you want uh, the best brokers, then you select 5 stars and then apply filters, and then those brokers that have the top ratings will come up. All right, so that's a good site for not just broker reviews, but other reviews as well. Okay, let me bring up the stream. Make sure there's no more. Okay, going long, a euro US dollar now. So going long, huh? Interesting, Keshav. Yeah, XM, I suggest that you do your research. Just go to forexpsummary.com, search in XM, read the reviews, and make your own decision. And base it off of that. You see that Oanda has a 3-star rating, but my experience has been very good. So it's important to read not just the bad reviews, but also the good ones. Uh, yeah, Crash, you're going long. Euro, EU. So you're expecting what Trump is saying to cause this to shoot up, the EU. So that's 10 minutes from now. It's difficult to know that if that's going to happen or not. It's a prediction, since we don't know what he's going to say yet. Nobody really knows. Um, and yeah, I'm sure that the markets might get pretty wild in that time. So we'll come back to this once the speech starts taking place. Um, let's see what's happening in the markets. Okay. Well, Crash, let me cover that. So what you're saying, maybe not shoot up, but will give us some space to profit, not shoot up because we're in a downtrend. Well, the thing is that if you look on the Euro US dollar and you see that, yeah, we're in a downtrend since yesterday. It's been moving down. It's moved down 125 pips. Now, the reason why this has moved down is because of the anticipation of the Trump speech today. Um, and this has moved down in the anticipation that the things that he's going to say are going to cause the dollar to start running up again. Um, and so that's the anticipation. That's why it's moving down. Now, if he says, once he starts speaking and what people and they're positive USD, then this could even ride down in a bigger way. Um, but it could be a total miss where he says some things and it's flat. It's flat market. Nothing really happens. It could just be go into a small range. But I expect some volatility, either shooting up or shooting down. Right now, I don't know. My prediction is down, but I'm not trading it though. All right. Yeah, I think that from what I saw, Crash, Trump is speaking in an hour. You're right. I thought it was in 10 minutes, but I was off by an hour. So he won't go on for another hour or so. Uh, and so yeah, I won't be covering. I probably won't be on stream that long, unfortunately. But we'll see what happens with the market once he does um, start speaking. And I'll talk about it tomorrow in tomorrow's stream. All right. So what we're gonna do is talk about the plan, and that's what types of investing bring the best results and why. Well, I think that obviously, well, since I'm talking about trading here, I think that trading is a good way to is a good investment. But it's only a good investment if you know what you're doing. Um, and because a lot of new people that get involved in trading can lose their shirts fast. And because it's maybe not necessarily the best investment vehicle for new people because they don't know a whole lot about trading, how to do it, where the the direction is, trends, counter trends, candlesticks. They don't. There's a lot of know-how in trading, and in some cases it takes years to really gain a grasp uh, of of how to trade and why it can be beneficial. Now, you guys know that uh, I've been a trader for 11 years, in particular the Forex spot FX, uh, and it's been up and down. Uh, and you probably know of my experience of having losses over the election day because of leaving a scalping robot on. I lost, unfortunately, 65% of my account. It was the first time has happened in 2 years. Um, and from being a profitable trader to losing a lot of my profits. I was still in profit overall, but it really does hurt. Yeah, Crash, I actually had 7,000 in the account originally. Um, no, actually, I have. Let me back up. My total profit over the course of 2 years was 12, or my account size was 12,000. Um, And what I did was I went to a company called Maverick FX. Now, Maverick FX, I'm going to bring up to you now. They are a or a prop trading firm is the best way to put it. Um, MaverickFX.com. So, so you basically are able to trade with Maverick's funds, proprietary trading company. Um, and so you basically get training from them, and they give you funds, and you trade. But the whole process costs money. So I actually, instead of, I was able to bypass a lot of the training since I had a lot of background in trading already. But there are fees involved. It cost me about 2 grand to get involved with Maverick. And so I deposited, or I had 12,000 at the time, and took 2,000 out to pay for to get involved. Now, why get involved with them? Because I can trade their money, and I can do an upgrade system to get to a large account over the course of trading with them. So what I did is I deposited to 10,000, deposited 10,000. Now it's not necessary to deposit 10,000. It was then I think the minimum for them was two, but I did 10. The reason why I did 10 is because they told me that uh, they would match my 10,000. So I would have a total of $20,000 to work with, uh, which seemed good to me. But the thing is that they take a large portion of the profits that I was making. It was something like 30, I think it was like something like 30% um, of the profits that they gave me, and so it really did hurt. Um, which means I was paying more, almost the same. It ended up being I was paying the almost the same in fees as I was receiving in profits, um, which was not how I wanted to, or not what I had in mind for my trading. So what I did was I left. I left Maverick FX, and I'm still in good standing with them. Can always go back if I wanted to, but I'm not planning on doing that anytime soon. So I lost 2,000 there. Then I had an account of 10,000, and I withdrew a portion of the profits uh, just because I wanted to. And so at that time I had 10,000. Um, sorry, I had 9,000. I had a small loss of $1,000, so I went back to 8,000. 8,000 is where I was before election day, and then I ended up losing 65 or close to 70% of my account. And that's why I am where I am at 2,920. Now I've said before on forexsignals.com when I was streaming there, I explained to everybody, and I don't want to keep going over this over and over again, but why I lost. I was going to a friend's house, and I left my scalping EA on. The scalping EAs that I built is only supposed to be used during non-news times, so basically during a flat market, or when the volatility is low. And it always needs to be turned off during a news event, especially like the election day. And I left it on and forgot that I left it on, and ended up coming out with a really large loss because the EA doesn't know when to stop, and it took large large lot sizes on a 50 to 1 leverage account. And it was a bad mistake. And I didn't take the necessary steps to shutting off my internet. Once I did find out, my losses would have been or could have been less. So it was a mistake on my behalf, and it's one that I definitely regret. But moving on from there, let me see. Crash, I'm looking at your comments now. who taught me anything useful? Well, what taught me useful things was not to I mean, to make sure that um, that I'm on top of things, that I'm not uh, being irrational or careless. The thing was on that election day, I was careless. I was careless, and didn't take the necessary measures uh, to close out that EA that was tearing apart my account. So, yeah, Trump's. It's all about Trump today, Vilius. So that's why I have a smaller account. But guys, what's going to change? That's going to change, and I guess that goes. This goes starts to go into why my progress and what I'm doing to get a larger account. Um, so let me bring up. So I'm actually using a firm called AB Funders. I don't think any of you have heard of these guys before. And AB Funders, and I've already sent in an application. Everything is set. Everything is in progress. And what they do is they give out. Now I might get a little chastised for this, and I'm prepared for it, and it's okay. Um, they are basically a loan service, and they will give you a credit. They will help get you a credit line, uh, and with zero interest for 12 to 24 months. And this says up to 400,000, but the actual amounts are typically anywhere from 50 to 150,000. Um, now, the reason why I'm taking this step is the biggest thing that a lot of traders tell you, or a lot of the professional traders, and I consider myself a professional because I've done it before. I have traded for a firm in the past, a couple of firms, um, and you're not supposed to use borrowed funds. The thing is here is, yes, this will be borrowed funds, and I do believe that I will get in the range of 50 to 100,000 in funds from in a credit line from this company. They have been really great to work with, and they offer um, and they're legitimate, at least at this point. My application should be completed in around 2 to 4 weeks time. It says 2 to 6 weeks. I've already been in contact with them for the last month. Um, I've been in contact with them on the phone, in person. The business is legitimate. They've been in business for a few years now, uh, and what they claim is definitely possible. So I'm going along with it and see what I get. And how my plan on those funds is to trade that 50 to 100,000 in the safest way possible. That means taking less risk for and lower gains for safety. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm perfectly and 100% safe here. Yes, I could lose some money here, but I'm not going to be gambling with this $100,000. This isn't something that I'm going to try to double my money in 12 months. This is not what I'm trying to do here. And after 12 months, I plan on withdrawing, paying back the loan, and using the profits that I made from that 100, let's say 100,000, um, and trading that. I don't know what my profits exactly will be over the course of 12 months on $100,000. I hope it will be, it'd be great if it was 20% uh, or uh, or 10, even 10% would be awesome. But I really don't know. Uh, and That's what this blog is about. This video blog is about is my progress on taking those steps. Taking the step to getting the loan, receiving it, putting it into an account, watching that whole process take place, and then trading those funds either through Forex or through other means. And what my thought process is on where to put that money and where the safest place to put it in. Um, what my profit expectations will be. Um, and what my potential loss expectations will be as well on top of that. Um, and yeah, it's a bit scary of a process for me because I'm taking out potentially $100,000 worth of money to my name in a credit line. It's a little bit scary, but I understand that and I feel like I have the necessary background, and I know I know my downfalls as well, the mistakes I've made in the past. Most recent one being with the scalping EA on election day. And I know what I've done wrong in the past, and I will know what I need to do in the future. Uh, and the faster I can pay off this loan, the better. But the thing is that I can't look at it like that in those terms. I have to look at it as protecting that 100K is where I need to is where where my focus needs to lie. Um, and the zero. So if we go back to the website, sorry if there's any questions right now. There could be some flaming going on. That's okay. That's all right. Um, and the question is what happens after the 12 to 24 months? Well, then you actually do pay a pretty high interest rate of like 15 to 22%. So it's very important to pay back that loan within that time frame. The loans or the credit line they do have a 12 to 24 month time period, and it depends on the company or the company that gives you the credit line. Um, so what happens if you default? Let's say that I happen to lose everything on this credit line. I lose $100,000. What happens at that point? Well, the credit companies that gave me that loan will come after me and try to get me to pay it. Now they'll put some threats on you. They'll even potentially send police officers to your door, um, and try to threaten you. But they can't necessarily sue you because I don't have any assets in other things. And we just have my wife and I just have a savings account, and that's about it. But we don't have any investments in something else that they can try to take from, at least from me. Um, it could get pretty ugly, but my plan would probably be at that point to declare bankruptcy, um, and go from there. Yes, bankruptcy sucks, um, but I look at things in the worst possible way. Like I look at what could happen here. Is the worst case scenario is that somehow I lose $100,000. Um, and what what's the next step then? And I have to think about that because it is important to know where things could go in the worst case scenario. Um, so let's get into some questions that just came in, or questions that have come in, and then I'll get into the steps that I'm wanting to take uh, to for this 100,000. All right. So let me see what's coming in. All right, good. Nothing has actually come in on the on the chat. Uh, and so this will be kind of a personal diary or journal entry for you guys. So you'll be able to see my progress of my account that I have here. This 2,920 account. That will be that size for. I may withdraw about 2,000 of those dollars um, in anticipation for that loan coming in. Um, and But you'll be able to see the progress in the stream of the 2,920 and what I do there. Currently, I'm using my EA. My EA I've talked about in previous streams that you guys probably know of. Right now I have multiple sell entries in, or shorts. Right now it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10 trades in, and they're all 20 pips apart, so they're pretty close. And we did hit the peak near the peak here, and then it started pushing back down. All right, soon. I'm already in profit. Excuse me. I'm already well, I just hit profit there for a second, and it keeps playing with that level. And I should be taking about $60 profit, I believe, off of this, or close to it. Not 60. I'll be taking about 20, I think. Um, so not a lot out of this, and so this actually doesn't have a whole lot farther down to go. Maybe another 10 or 20 pips, potentially less, before all these trades will close out in profit. So I'll keep that up for now. I'm aiming to short the NU, a pair that I don't trade too often. I can look at it real briefly and give you a quick analysis, but this stream isn't necessarily about doing analysis anymore. Looking to short though. Well, it is in a range here if you're looking at it. There's not really a lot going on in this area here. So that's at least on the 4 hour. So if we go on the 1 hour, so if we go to the 4 hour in the daily, you can see that it is somewhat in a downtrend on at least the daily. If you're looking at the levels, the lower highs and the lower lows. So if we go down to the 4 hour, we'll see that if you're looking to short, we do have a peak up here, and it was hit twice, and right now this area is questionable. So this is the range that we're talking about here. So this could go down, bounce around in that area for a while. What I would be looking is to short maybe around, if we're taking trades with the trend here, I'd be looking to short around this area. Break of the 69.5 level. So that's still about 20 pips down. But I would wait to get a little bit more idea of the direction of this pair. Okay. So, okay, let's see. I buy a USD Japanese yen. Um, that's an anticipation for the USD strength, I would guess, with Trump. Um, uh, Trump statement coming out before long. Hopefully you didn't just buy that. If you're buying it in anticipation for positivity coming from Trump in what he's saying, then that's something. But if you're taking this trade basically strictly off of technical analysis, I would avoid that. We're just about to hit a huge fundamental news, or potentially, and you should take that into consideration on your trade. Okay. So sorry to use the demo account here, but sometimes my main broker is actually on VPS. I could probably just switch that over now, but I'm actually demo trading another program, which I'll get into now. All right, guys. So what am I going to do with the 100,000? Let's say it's 100,000. I think that it could be a minimum of 50. It could be less. I'll let you know in my streams. But I'm hoping for at least 50, and I'm hoping for a maximum of 100, maybe more. If it's more, if let's say it's 200,000 that I happen to get, then I'll continue to trade that at a very low risk, and I'll be able to withdraw the funds, not withdraw, but pay off the loan quicker. Now, the thing is, uh, my goal, is in hopes, the hopes that I can come out with $10,000 to $20,000 from this $100,000 credit line over the course of 12 to 24 months. Now, once I have, let's say, 20,000, then I have a very good starting base to go off of. And I think that I will likely pay off the loan in that range, 25 to 50,000. It will depend on my profit, how my outlook is, if I'm in loss, all that kind of stuff, and we'll base it off of that. But my goal is 20 to 50,000 in profits on that 100K. So that's anywhere from 20 to 50% profit on 100K. All right. And if I happen to get 200K, that's even better. That means that my goal of 20 to 50,000 will be hit faster because of the larger starting funds. All right. Uh, so this is going to close out before long. I think I only have another maybe 5 or 10 pips before it does close out in profit. And then all of these trades will close out, all 10 of them. All right, so the other, I plan on using my personal EA. Now you can see the test here in the background. Now, I've done tests and I've shown the test in my streams before. Now this is a lower risk test, and over how long is this tested for? Since 1993, all the way to 2017 current date. Now this is a control points test. For those of you that know backtesting, this is not a 100% accurate test. That means that the entries are correct, but the profits, so the pip profits, I have it set at 50 pips per trade or per group or basket. And sometimes that's not always accurate. It could be a little less, it could be a little bit more. So the results in an actual profit, the 31,461, is not completely accurate. That number is usually in a click test less. My guess would be in the 20 to 25,000 range over the course of that same period. Okay, sorry, I got something in my eye here. So let's look at the actual profit, what we stood at. So the expectation, well, we started with 2,000 and the 2,000 grew to 228 over that course of time. And the drawdown report is in the 33% range. That's the highest I want to be, because if I go any higher than that, I'm risking a bit too much. So I either will use lower risk or this same risk that you see here, or even lower. All right. And the reason why is because I'm going to be using a EA called Happy Forex version 2.2. Now this EA has been around for a very long time. And some of you may know it. I'm going to talk more about this EA in my streams. But I'd first have to let you know that this is this just popped up. It's a trade or an error that happened in October of 2016. This hasn't been here before in the test, but it's just now showing up, and I've had things like that show up in my test as well. This is a live test of the EA, and it shows that it's also very profitable. So this is showing the error. This period it did not make 50%. It made most of the time in this same bracket of 3 to 5% per month. And in 2015, also very steady. This current month also. This EA, I have it. I currently have it. Testing it right now, and it's shown very good results. And what's most interesting is that the current trades that are in the Euro, CHF, and the AUD USD were actually entered only a few pips difference on my demo account in comparison. The entry prices, same pairs. So what that means is that my EA that I'm testing on the demo account is following the results on the creator's MyFXBook page. This gives me some hope, and that this EA is actually legitimate in its results. That this is not a white label. This isn't a these aren't manipulated results. And it's still early. I still have more testing to do. I still don't get my credit line for another 2 to 4 weeks. So I will continue to see how the orders compare to the orders on my account, and I'll go from there. So the drawdown on this EA is very low, 16%. So if I have a 33% potential drawdown on my account, then that would be plus 16. Then we'd be looking at over 50%. The thing is that, or just about 50%, just under 50%. And I don't want to exceed that. And it's likely I'm going to want to stay in a much lower drawdown of under 20%. And so I'm going to do whatever I can in my power to keep my results coming in at lower drawdown rates on a larger account. All right. Let's see. So that is happyforex.com or happyforex version 2.2. The CA is also on simpletrader.net, and I'm going to bring up a link for you now. I'm not getting any commission for this, guys. Everything that I send you, I'm not getting a commission on. So, um, or tell you about. So this is happyforex.de, and you can check out the EA. Now, I don't usually go for retail EAs. I'm just testing this one right now with the potential for to use it on my larger account once it comes in. I want to make sure that it trades well, that the methodology is good, and I'll talk more about that in the future. The EA is not that pricey compared to what it should be, um, at I think 250 or $300. So that is one that I'm using. Now the EA that I've created is also really good. Very similar methodology behind it, where all trades close in profit, and there's a very smooth equity curve, just like you see on Happy Forex. All right, so the EA's trade very similar. It means that my balance will most likely never enter into the negative territory, um, which is really nice for me to go on, especially using the trading with $100,000 account. Yeah, so the odd USD is they're saying it's screaming down. Well, right at this point, it's moving. It's definitely moving. It's not necessarily screaming down yet, I wouldn't say. Just wait for another 40 minutes though, and then you might see a lot more. So the uh, pound got really close to closing out my trades, and now it's flipping up a little bit. That's probably because the let me see. Well, why is that happening? Okay, so the reason why that's happening is because the pound is shooting down more currently than the euro US dollar. Yeah, so the pound has moved down the last little bit, 65 pips versus in the last hour, the euro has only moved 21 pips. Now that's the difference. And as you know, this pair, the euro pound, it basically is, I mean, it puts these two pairs together, the euro and the pound. But the thing is that the reason why I like this pair so much is because it ranges so much. It's a pattern that makes sense and can be taken advantage of. So currently, since the pound is moving more than the euro, that's why this current candle is starting to shoot up a little bit. So we'll have to see what happens once this news comes out. But I was so very close to closing out these trades, and um, at this point, it could shoot back up. Before I was hoping that these would be closed before Trump's speech, but we might not get so lucky. Okay. Yeah, it will. Well, if the things that Trump says are positive, then the odd USD will push down a lot more. All USD pairs will. Okay. So, guys, what I'll be talking about is a lot in the coming weeks. I'll be talking a lot about AP funders, my progress with them, how much credit line do I get from them. I'll also be talking about Happy Forex, this retail EA. How good is it? Are my demo results passable? What's the drawdown? Um, and I'll be talking about my personal EA. How is it doing? Personal drawdown, so forth. As you can see, I'm going to bring up those results right for you right now. So these are my EA results. So it's been running for a few months now, at the end of November or the mid-November, and all of December, and now we've been into January. And these are my results so far. Okay, now it says only a $43 profit. It's because I started with a $500 account and just recently deposited an extra $2,378 on the 5th. All right, so I'll keep an eye on the results. This will be also showing you everything. I'll be showing you all of my results. I won't be blacking anything out. Um, and I'll be honest with you, what's working, what's not. You'll get to see potentially a $100,000 trading account and my progress with that. Um, and you also know that it's a credit line, that it's a basically a loan, and you'll have that also to drive, I guess, excitement with you to see what I or this guy in your eyes is going to do about that. That is he taking a risk? Is he not? He, I mean, the risk is involved with taking the credit line to begin with. But how to negate or how to minimize um, those risks so I can make this beneficial for my investing career. All right. So that's pretty much what I wanted to go over today. Uh, I didn't want to talk too much about the charts since that was my previous streams. And I want to talk more about the emotional sides of trading, investing, what types of programs are good. And real briefly, I'll talk about Genesis mining. I'm going to go into this in the coming in streams to come. Genesis Mining is a Bitcoin mining company where you buy shares of Bitcoin to be mined, and then you sell and you're able to use the Bitcoin and get payouts. I'll go into the details with that, reviews of the company. I've been with them for a month, and just recently got paid out $95 from them. And so this won't be just about forex trading. This will be about other means of investing, good or bad. And I'll go into the details on why I use this program, why not, and why I may potentially stop using it, why it's not safe, all that kind of stuff. So you'll see my progress and what I go through and what I do, and you have a choice to follow or not to. Um, so Genesis Mining is one. I have $1,000 invested with them, and let me see. I'm also going to go over um, Lending Club. Now, I'm just pulling it up here. Give me a second. Okay. Now, Lending Club is, I've been doing some research with them for over the last 6 months or so, uh, debating if I wanted to use them or not. Um, Now, Lending Club investing is a Lending Club is a peer-to-peer debt consolidation company, um, or peer-to-peer lending company, where they basically act as a credit card, but at much lower interest rates for individuals. So, and you're able to participate as an investor by giving people a credit line to use, and they pay you interest over time. The reason why Lending Club is so big is because their interest rates are much lower than the credit cards, and so people are able to take advantage of that. Now the 5 to 7% historical returns. This is actually accurate, and you can see once you sign up for Lending Club that these numbers that they are pulling are from previous years, and you can see all the stats of where these projections come from. 5 to 7% per year is not a lot considering the returns that some forex traders make, but it is a lot safer. Lending Club is huge. They have multi-billions of dollars that are invested in the company, um, and they and these returns that you may receive are a little bit more solid. Now, the biggest thing that I'm going to note here, and I'll talk more about this in more streams where I'll do a stream probably just basically on Lending Club, um, and the potential and the I guess the rewards of using them, is the monthly cash flow. Now, let's say that you deposit uh, $10,000 with Lending Club and a 2 to 5% cash flow per month. That means that you're getting back your interest, getting back your initial investment, so the 10,000. So let's say that you're getting uh, the 5% monthly cash flow. 5% of 10,000 is $500. So you're receiving the principal back uh, in a pretty substantial way each month. So 5% each month means that by the end of the year, you'll be looking at receiving uh, 50 to even close to 100% of your funds back. But most likely about 50% of your funds um, if you decide to withdraw the monthly cash flow. All right, so I'll get in more into detail of Lending Club and why the potential for there is good for a larger investment. Um, okay. How confident do you feel trading with borrowed money? Very good question. Maka or Maka. I feel very confident, um, but I do have some concerns. Um, I'm not a I'm not a naive trader. I know the risks involved here, uh, and I've mentioned those earlier that I know that I can lose, potentially lose 100,000. Now, I've got things in place not to lose 100,000, but you still have to have that put that into consideration just in case. Well, it's possible that I could lose 10% or 20%. Um, and I might just have to take a loss at that point if I'm at a loss of 10 to 20% by the end of 12 to 24 months. So all those things need to be considered. Uh, but my I wouldn't be doing this if I wasn't confident in my one EA. If I wasn't confident in this EA that I'm using, that it hasn't lost in 24 years of history. And I've tested it over and over again and pushed it in multiple ways to see if uh, what risks could happen or what risks are involved in using it. And you can't negate all risks in trading, um, but you can try to minimize them as much as you can. And so that's what I'm doing here with my EA, is that I feel like it's profitable because it has found an edge. What's the edge? I'll get more into that in later streams and talk about the euro pounds behavior and why my EA trades that pair exclusively. I'll also get into why Happy Forex 2.2 is something that I'm considering. And I'll go into more detail on why and how I plan to use it. But seeing the track record and seeing the current trades that I'm in them as well, it gives me some confidence that what I'm seeing here is legitimate. I'm looking for an EA that is not necessarily massively profitable. Doesn't make like something like this. I'm not looking for an EA that does ridiculous profit amounts that I know cannot be kept up. You guys should understand that trading is difficult, and uh, pushing trades or pushing months of 65% profit, 48, 43, 20, even 26, anything over 10% is very difficult to be consistent with. Now this guy, using him as an example, looks like he's a pretty talented trader. But what I can see, he's also a very high risk trader. And when he's making these kind of gains of 65%, that means he's also risking potentially more than that. You can see that his drawdown is 66%. But I know, and when I see this, I know at some point, and I know for a fact that he won't be able to keep up these results. Either he will have to drop his risk, or he'll lose this account. And it's going to be up to him if he decides he wants to lose this, if it's worth losing, or if he wants to lower the risk down. Now, what I'll see a lot of times is traders will push the risk up, make a lot of profit, and then push the risk down um, after they've made that large profit. But this is not what I'm shooting for. I'm not going for this. I'm going for something that is a lot more steady, more consistent gains, more in uh, the 1 to 3% range, and that's what I'm going for. Consistency, low drawdown, so I can help uh, minimize the risk in trading with borrowed funds. Okay, so yeah, MACA. Uh, yeah, so you don't think that risking 100,000 of borrowed money is not high risk? Uh, Sorry for the pause. Borrowing money is always a risk, no matter how you look at it. Uh, where I'm trying to minimize the risk is how I use those borrowed funds. Uh, we can't deny the fact that taking the uh, the line of credit is a risk to begin with. I can't deny that. But how I plan to use it is not in a risky is um, not in a risky manner. Now, you could argue that any trading in forex is risky, uh, and that in some cases is true. But I will be uh, doing my best to push the risk levels down by using the best possible avenues or systems or EAs to help with how high this risk could be. And so that's my outlook, and that's what you're going to be able to watch. You can laugh at me, you can harass me, uh, or you can follow me. But in the end, it's going to be entertainment no matter what. You can see me either crash and burn, or you can see me have success. And what I do is everything that I choose to do always has a reason behind it. And I'll go into that reason, why I'm using something, and how, and what do I expect from it. And so that's where I will end. And I hope that a lot of you guys can watch this my new stream. We'll talk about some serious issues. So the questions are nice. So thanks for those that were asking questions today. Because this I want this to be a discussion. I want to talk about this psychological side of trading and investing and money, and how to uh, how to properly uh, direct your mind so it's has the right idea of how to approach trading and investing. Uh, Now we can't, like I said before, we can't negate the risks involved, because there's always risk in trading and investing, no matter what. You can't deny that. But there are certain things that we can do to help protect our investment, and that's what I'm going to try to do. And that's what I'm going to be doing for myself, and that's what I'm going to be relaying to you as well. All right. So that's I think it for this stream, guys. We're about at an hour, and I'll be back tomorrow. Now I'm trying to decide if I'm going to make this a weekly thing or if I'm going to make this a daily thing. So please post your comments either after the video is done or during the live stream of what you would like me to talk about. What's on your mind? If it's risk, how to appropriately attack risk, any advice with that? If it's something else, investment programs, systems for trading forex, whatever it may be, I want you to write in the comments below to let me know what you would want me to talk about, because this should be a discussion to help traders improve their skills and their mindsets so they know how to correctly attack trading in a legitimate, uh, I guess, more safe way. All right. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I hope to see you soon.